Rabbi Isaac Luria. I'm reading from Sha'ar Ruach HaKodesh. You know, we talk so much about reincarnation, iburim, souls. It's time also to go deep into the soul's level, and then I'm going to I'm going to share with you as much as information as I can. But I would like to start with a story from Rabbi Shmuel Vital, the son of Rabbi Chaim Vital. So he writes like this, זכורני, I remember, ביום ראש השנה אחד, one time on ראש השנה, שהיה מורי אבא, when my teacher and my father, mean Rabbi Chaim Vital, דורש על המים ביום תשליך. So Rabbi Chaim Vital went and did the tashlich on as they usually do on ראש השנה. ראינו צפרדע אחת באה בנהר כנגדו. It was a frog that came up the river, and we as kids התחלנו להשליך עליה אבנים להשליכה, and we start throwing stone. You know, kids do that. They see a frog, so they try to throw it on the frog. ואבא and father, רבי חיים ויטל, היו עיניו סגורות. His eyes were closed. And he was meditating on the Torah and the kavanot that you're supposed to do in the tashlich. וכל צפצוף הצפרדע, when he heard the frog sound, or you know, the frog makes sound, פתח עינו, he opened his eyes, Rabbi Chaim Vital opened his eyes, וגער בנו, and he talked tough to us, ואמר לנו, and he told us, כשהייתה נשמה אחת באה לשמוע תורתו. It was one soul that came to hear his Torah. מלובשת בצפרדע הזאת, but he dressed like a frog. ולכבודה התחיל לדרוש בעניין הצפרדע. And right away he changed everything, and he started mentioning the whole knowledge of the frog, about frog. Why you call it frog? That frog is actually, in Hebrew, it's tzfardea. Tzfardea, tzipor, bird. Dea, knowledge, the birds of knowledge. So, the idea is, why am I starting with that story? We need to be aware that everything around us is so much information, so many details when we talk about reincarnation, when we talk about souls. So when we walk, when we breathe, when we go to sleep, everything is a life, and everything is a soul, and everything is a reincarnation. So we have to respect things around us like they are always something is happening around us. And for that reason, I make this decision to share with you a lot of information from Rabbi Isaac Luria, step by step, from the gate of Holy Spirit, Ruach HaKodesh, and through that, we will help each other to become better. And I'm going now to the beginning of the book, talking about Holy Spirit, talking about Nevuah, prophecy, Ruach HaKodesh, Holy Spirit, what's the point of them? And it's written, when a person is tzaddik, v'chasid, and a good person, ve'osek b'torah, and also study Torah, study spirituality, umitpalel bekavana, and pray with kavana, with meditation, ודאי הוא שאין לך דבר שאין לו ממש. A person like this, whatever he does, say, or touch, as an existent. Nothing is just random. כי אפילו אותו הכל היוצא לדע הכת, המתן או לבטלה. Even if he's hitting with his own stick or staff or in his hand, on the table, on the floor, even that sound has value. That he can create angels and Holy Spirit from that. And the idea is, this is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Every action and sound and movement making things alive. This is very serious. And it continues. As it's written in the Tikkunei HaZohar, when a person studies Torah, that words of studied Torah that come out of his mouth become merkava. Merkava means chariot. Chariot means something to carry the righteous soul, to carry the power that you want to bring from above. He said that those words become merkava, become chariot to the soul of the righteous, to come down and teach those people Torah. So when we study, we'll be wise enough to say the word loud. And then the righteous will come and visit you through that voice. But of course, אומנם, הכל הוא כפי מעשה אדם. Everything is based on the individual. אם אותה התורה שיעסוק בה, קורא אותה לשמה, if he read the Torah לשמה, meaning for its own sake, what does that mean for its own sake? Mean that the person don't study for his ego, or don't study just to be smarter than everybody else. He study because he want to receive the light within it to make him connect to the Creator in a better way. That's called Lishma. Then the angel he created from that study would be a very holy angel. And that angel will be Ne'eman, will be faithful. And whatever he tell will be truth. The same thing with mitzvot, the same thing with good things that we are doing. But if the person is not doing whatever he's doing, whatever the mitzvah is, whatever the Torah that he studied perfect, then also the angel is not perfect. Now, what is an angel? An angel is a revelation of energy that sometimes get dressed with something revealed physically, and sometimes it's revealed through a sound. We're going to study more about it today. Normally, people who know the future, that the voice are coming, tell them the future, those voices call magidim. כי אלו הם נבראים מעסק האדם בתורה ומצוות. Where are they coming from? The magidim. When a person study Torah lishma and doing mitzvot and doing the precept and good precept, every time you study Torah and every time you're doing good thing in a real way, the magid reveal to you and tell you what you got to do for the future. But of course, based on your soul, that's as much as is going to be revealed. Based on your soul or based on your action. ויש מגידים אמיתיים, some מגידים are real, and they come from the Torah, or the mitzvot, or the precept, and יש מגידים משקרים. There is מגידים, those little angel, that little bit lies with whatever they tell the person, because they mix with good and bad. Why? Because based on the person, if while he studied or did the mitzvah has a little bit bad thing in him, or bad thing in him when he did the mitzvah, also the angel that been created will be mixed bad and good. And the good part of that angel will tell the truth, and the bad part of that angel will tell the lie. Let's go deeper a little bit into it. So we learned something here. We learned that the Magidim, which are like angels that talking to us, Magid means to talk, telling us the future, based on the quality of my study and based on the quality of my spiritual action, that's how good they're going to be. So if the person is not focused on his spirituality in a way that it will be done correct and right, then expect also the Magid, the advisor, that come through your ears. You cannot always see it, but you can hear it, and he will tell you, go right, go left, if you be sensitive to listen. They also depends on the action and the way we study. If we study purely, if we do action purely, then of course the Magid will also be like that. So we need to focus on how we do things. the prophecy or the Ruach HaKodesh is different. Prophecy and Ruach HaKodesh is a voice that's coming from above, as the Ari explained it, to come talk to that prophet. And the way you hear it, it doesn't come with the sound of above. It has to get dressed with a physical sound. What will be the physical sound? It will be the physical sound as the person studied the Torah. Once you study the Torah and you read those books like we're doing now, and I hope you hear it wherever you are, עד מתלבש בו מתחבר עמו ובעד אוזן הנביא ההוא ושומעו ובלתי כל האדם עצמו הגשמי אתה אי אפשר להיות. Meaning, through the words of the words of the Torah become the vehicle to hold on to the prophecy, and that prophecy holding on to the words that you just study with, and then the prophet can hear it. Which is unbelievable. Sometimes, say the Ari, could be that voice, the upper voice that want to come to a prophet will be dressed by a righteous people that have been around thousands of years ago, or people who are still alive in our time. And both of them will be connected and will talk to that person. אבל דע שאי אפשר כלל שיבוא כל עוד דיבור או הבל של צדיק אחר לדבר עמו, אם אין כך יהיה הצדיק או משורש נשמת האיש. So, why some people hear it, some people don't? Well, it has to do with our cleansing. It has to do with the level of our spirituality. But there's another thing that I bring here. There is something called shoresh neshama, the roots of your soul. If the roots of your soul is connecting to that righteous, then that righteous will come and talk to you. Meaning, for example, Rabbi Chaim Vital is a reincarnation of Rabbi Akiva, is a reincarnation of Cain. So all those souls can come and relate to him because they're very famous or powerful soul. When is this righteous come? It says, אוי מי יש עשה איש הזו איזו מצווה, כפי גדר הצדיק ההוא, דרך משני התנאים אלו. So either the soul come to visit you, because you have a connection to come from the same soul, because we explained it already. All the soul came from Cain and Abel. So if you belong to the same group of soul, then that soul come and tell you the prophecy, or that the person did the mitzvah, did something so special with the precept that soul of the other righteous relate to it. So here we're still talking about the sound, the voice. The Ari want us to know that prophecy comes from the male aspect. It's called Duchra. Ruach HaKodesh, Holy Spirit, come from the female aspect. לכן הנבואה אינה אלא בקול או בדיבור שעבר. That's why the prophecy has to use a voice, has to use something. Whatever righteous people or his voice. אבל מן ההבל של העבר בין מי שלו בין מי של אחרים, אין נבואה נמשכת משם. אבל רוח הקודש אינה, אלא מן ההבל שעבר בדווקא בין מי שלו בין מי של אחרים, אבל בקול או בדיבור שעבר בין מי שלו בין מי שלו צדיקים אחרים, אין זה נקרא רוח הקודש אלא נבואה. So, what happened, and you have to be very conscious of that, sometimes people will just talk around you. And within their conversation, they carry within them Ruach HaKodesh, the female aspect. Nevuah is when you hear it in your own ears, but there is no sound outside. So prophecy and Ruach HaKodesh or Holy Spirit. This is two aspects of knowing the future. And that's why there is many level of prophecy and many level of Holy Spirit. Okay. Now I'm going to go a little bit further to go deeper into it, to understand that everything. So it's a, for example, even on your own pulse, when you're touching your pulse, the pulse is telling you how you're doing. So hopefully on the screen, eventually, we're going to have all the pulse and how it's work. So you have different vowels in Hebrew. For example, kamatz, look like that. You're going to see it on the screen. Segol look like that. Based on that pulse, you would know exactly what level was the crime. If the crime happened in Segol, that means it's Chesed. Shva, Gvura, Kamatz, Keter, and so on and so on. And the idea is with the pulse that carry the blood into your blood vessel is, of course, telling you where there is a blockage. And based on the blockage, spiritually, you can fix your body. So you need to know exactly where is the issue. So if the person disconnected the level of chesed, we know he didn't do enough chasadim, didn't do enough mercy. So you need to change it. So once you have it on the screen, and you're going to look into every vowels in Hebrew, what does it relate to, and you study it, you will know about yourself exactly what is that you need to correct. And it's very, very important. So for example, it's a Kiim dofek ke'en kamatz. If it's like kamatz, like the keter, זה יורש החטא בכתר. ולכן הוא המתגבר עתה להראות כוחו שלא יסתלק על ידי החטא. And that's how all of a sudden the pulse sound like keter. Keter look like that. Okay? Like that. So you will hear the pulse is going like in line and then one little bit down. Why it have to be in keter if the person do the crime in keter? It's to understand שלא יסתלק על ידי החטא, and everything which have chisaron, say dari, everything which has lack, that's exactly the pulse where it's going to be. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable information. Yeah. Yeah, there's so much information here about face and palm reading, but this I will do a whole video about how to read faces. So this is, I will teach you in a different time how to do it and what to do about everything on the face. Yeah, it should be like step by step. Yeah. Yeah. I just first maybe I should explain who was the Ari, because I'm not sure every person appreciates Rabbi Isaac Luria that much. I think once you know who he was, like Rabbi Chaim Vital write about him, then you appreciate it. It's very difficult to appreciate things you don't know. So I would like to read that section. והנה עוד הייתה לו ידיעה אחרת. He had other ability, besides reading everything, basically. He could call the nefesh ha'adam, he would call the soul of a person, or to the ruach, or to the spirit, or lenishmato, or to his soul, and he would talk to the soul, or to the ruach, or to the nefesh, ושואל, and ask question, וחוקר, and investigate, והיא משיבה אותו על כל מה שהשואל ממנה. And the soul will answer every detail that Rabbi Isaac will ask. וכל מה שהירה לה, וכל פרטי הפרטים, and all the details that the soul went through. כי כשהוא רואה העניינים באותות המצח, יש דברים שלא יכול להבין אותם. מרוב דקותם, מאלמם וקצועם ויפוכם ויוצא. Because when you look at the forehead, as we're going to explain, you don't see all the details. So you need to more ask the soul what's really going on. אבל כששואל את הנפש, then you can tell more. And it's very, very important to understand that a lot of time, very difficult to know through the face everything. That's why I just want you to appreciate how much Rabbi Isaac Luria knew. And this is the section where Rabbi Chaim Vital praised his teacher. And he said, בעניין השגתו, אמר לי, the way he told me, how did he reach to that level of spirituality? בתחילת ימיו, השגתו היה תורך לפעמים שבוע אחד על מאמר אחד מן הזוהר. The way to get there, say Dari, you have to take section of the Zohar, and you have to fight to understand it. He used to fight to understand it for 1 week. ולא היו אומרים לו פירושו. And I don't know if you know the feeling. He didn't have any teacher. Where would he go to? He had many teachers, but where did he go to if he wouldn't understand the Zohar? Can you imagine? My teacher basically get sick about 14 years ago, died 3 years ago. Not easy to be without a teacher. So what you need to do is to reach out to above and get the lesson. וצריך שהוא יחדש בזיכרון בעצמו בתורה מה שקיבלה נפשו בחלקה בהר סיני כנודע. And every person has to read and study based on what he received in Mount Sinai. So every time that you make an effort to study, like Dari right here, Rabbi Chaim Vital write about his teacher, he used to make so much effort, אז היו אומרים לו בעניין פלוני, ואמר פלוני ינת ועמדת על האמת. And they will tell him, you went on the right direction, and it is the right direction to go on. But you need a little bit deeper. And sometimes the voice will tell him, you were mistaken on that. And then he will go and study it again. Of course, my friend, we're talking about the Ari here, Rabbi Isaac Luria. But we should learn from that. We can say, oh, he's such a high level, we can never make it. Or we can say, he's such a high level, let me start working to get there. We can have both way to look at it. And Rabbi Chaim Vital continue. עניין השגתו, the way or the what he achieved, אין הפה יכולה לספר. We cannot even tell you how far he went, how many wisdom he has. אמנם מה שראיתי בעיניי, I can only tell you about the thing that I saw. דברים נפלאים ואמיתיים הם אלו. A wonderful thing that I saw. היה יודע להמשיך לפניו נפש, מי שתהיה. He could draw any nefesh, any soul that he want, from the living or from the dead, from thousands of years ago or from the new. And he will ask whatever he want to know about the future and about the Torah. Also, he used to have Elisha the prophet, Eliyahu Navi, come to see him and teach him. He used to look at the forehead, and he used to look at the light that around your body, and he used to see the light in your hair, in your head, the chirping of the bird, the conversation of the palm trees, the conversation of the bushes, and the conversation of the flower and the grass. Even the conversation of the minerals, stone, and even the conversation of the candles. While the flame of the candle moving, he could understand it. He used to see the angel that announcing in heaven what's going to be, would talk to them. He also knew about each herbs, what it's good for. I cannot even put it in a book, because whoever going to read it will never believe it, say Rabbi Chaim Vital. But my eyes saw it. And I don't write it from something I heard from someone. I saw it, say Rabbi Chaim Vital. This is the reason I'm sharing this with you today, is to start slowly, appreciate yourself and appreciate the study, because once you appreciate yourself and appreciate the study, you will see around you everything is perfect, like the story with the frog that I just shared with you. I want to share with you now the concept of one of the things that the Ari knew. It's called chirping of the bird. The Ari, Rabbi Isaac Luria, had knowledge about birds' language. And he say from the day that the temple were burned and the Torah were burned, all the power and the secret came to the dark side. So there is no human, include no human or creation or animal that doesn't have minister to run them. And those ministers will invite with their mouths and chirping secret from the Torah, secret from spirituality. And whoever can understand the chirping of the birds will be able to understand the Torah. Some generation has people among them who can understand it, like I saw with my teacher, Rabbi Isaac Luria, say Rabbi Chaim Vital. They also tell you what happened bad today. They also tell you what was the crime today. Everything has been told. But we know between the upper world, which is only spirituality, to the physical world, which is very dense and tense and physical and thick, we cannot get that spiritual knowledge to come below. Even when we look at it, we say, well, it's only physical. Whatever appear on a physical level, it also appear on the spiritual level. So when the air between the spiritual world is blocking the knowledge to come to this physical world, then the birds, by flying, flapping their wings, is leading that sound to come down, and through their sound, the chirping or the screaming, then those sounds come down. But some birds cannot talk, cannot chirp, they don't have sound. Well, those birds are, by flipping the birds, they just allow that sound from above to come down. So I think it's time to explain how do we know what they say. They say that the birds that can speak, can make sound, they come from a dark side. Dark side. And they are in charge of the kids who didn't talk yet. And they are in charge, unfortunately, of the bad news. So if we talk about an owl or what other birds you might know more than me cannot make any sound, doesn't need any making sound. They're in charge actually to do that bad news delivery. And if the person is wicked, meaning creating a lot of negative action, then those birds, specifically the birds that can talk, is attached to that person. And there is birds for everything. Good news, bad news, everything is there. So the birds who cannot chirp, cannot make any sound, they're in charge of killing the young kids, unfortunately. The crow or the raven, in charge of only giving bad news. Especially news that has to do with disease. Sometimes, say Dari, and this is kind of unique, sometimes even the raven or the crow will come with the good news. The nets, the falcon, הנקרא בלשון לעז el molano, that in different language called el molano, in Spanish or in Ladino, always tell good news. הגולדרינה, that's again, I think it's Spanish as well, הנקרא בלשון הקודש, that in the Bible language called ציפור דרור, the birds of freedom if you want, okay, or sparrow. That bird always give good news, especially they come to tell you that the disease will go away. And you will never see that type of bird if there is disease at that town. Even the fly or the worm, all of them speak wisdom. And that's why the birds has to be in a place where there is human. Because their job is to tell the human what's happening. To tell them the crime, to tell them what they did wrong, to tell them what's going to happen. Unfortunately, we don't always listen. And this is their job. Now, many times, say the Ari will be a righteous person who will be reincarnate within those birds or other creature based on whatever they need to clean. Those souls know everything that they knew before, and they knew the future because they know what they speak in heaven. And they want to say it, they want to share it. But sometimes there's another thing, say Rabbi Chaim Vital or Dari, there's a righteous person who will dress like a bird, and then he shared the secret of the Torah. And to see it, that the bird is actually carry a righteous person, it's all based on your level of consciousness. So what do I do to get to this level of consciousness? What do I need to do? What do you think is the first condition according to the Ari? What is this first condition to go to that prophecy? תנאי א' הוא השתיקה. Be quiet. Well, that's it. Yeah. שתיקה. שימעט דיבורו כל מה שיוכל. A person has to speak less as much as he can, ושלא ישיח שום שיחה בטלה. And will not talk rubbish, nonsense, but never. As we learn it from פרקי אבות, from the משנה in אבות, סייג לחוכמה שתיקה. תנאי ב', second condition, that everything that you study spiritually, and specifically בספר הזוהר, specifically in the Zohar, when you can understand it, sit and cry. Sit and cry until you will understand it. And try to cry a lot. We need to know that crying is a very important thing. I hear some people that cannot cry. You gotta practice on crying when you're alone. Not crying in front of people that everybody have mercy on you. Crying has to be that you are understanding that your tears are washing the negativity from you. It's actually, say the Ari here, would be wise to cry at night about my lack of achievement. So my lack of achievement, I have to cry, I have to be sad because of it. That I couldn't achieve what I meant to achieve in my life. For example, if you feel you hurt some people or you try to overcome a certain addiction and you can't, cry. Cry. Sit and cry before you go to sleep. Sit and cry. Sit and cry in your failure. Because that cry washed the need for negativity. And through that, the light of the Creator can shine on you and then come and help you. So it's not about crying in a victim way. You need to cry. Tears help. Tears help. Cry. Tears humiliate you. Tears in front of people, sometimes it's the ego, because you draw attention. But tears when you're alone at night, when nobody sees you, just you and the Creator. Cry, be ashamed. Be ashamed of yourself that you couldn't make what you came here to do. You have a mission here. You have a mission. You gotta finish your mission. It's not a joke. You're not here just randomly, God created you for a mistake. You have a mission. And your mission is important. Everybody is important. So if you feel you didn't accomplish what you came here to accomplish, sit next to the bed, sit on the floor, lie in bed, cry. The Ari said, ותישן מתוך הבכייה. Totally the opposite from what most parents tell their kids, and sleep from crying. Crying. The Ari explained the cry is because dim'a, the tear, dim'a means tear, וסוד הדין כנזכר בזוהר פרשת שמות, is taking it from the Zohar in portion of שמות. הדמעה ממתקת ק"ח אלוקים הנזכר, is sweetening the judgment of Elokim, sweetening the judgment of Elokim, which is judgment. והבכייה, this is the tear. והבכייה, the crying and tear, two different things. And the bchiyah is the cry that create tear. So the tear clean the Elokim, matek. And the crying is helping you to bring the fulfillment of Avaya, the Sag, the Yud Kevavke of 63, Sag, of Ima, in Bina, which is Gematria 37, the same amount as Bchiyah, cry. So 37 and Bchiyah, which means cry in Hebrew, the same Gematria, which has to do with Yud Kevavke Sag, that will appear on your screen, so you need to know what you meditate when you cry. So it's not just you do it randomly. And then you sweet the judgment that come from Elokim, which is kind of very, very important. And that's why even when you pray, when nobody see you, some people have a talit, so you cover yourself, nobody needs to see you, cry. Cry and understand that the dim'ah is one thing, the tear is one thing, and the bchiyah, the crying, is another thing. And if you do that, once you do that, everything starts to get fixed. And then again, we need to understand that in every day of the week, we need to work on ourselves. You know? We need to work on ourselves. Now, one of the things that we need to work on ourselves, and I would like to share it with you, that what the Ari said, when a person do something, whatever he is dealing with the Torah or pray, need to be happy. Like he had just won billions of dollars, like we found in the section of the Talmud in Brachot. We found it in the section of Talmud of Brachot. For that wise man named Abaye, alav shalom, and he was talking to Rava, and ve'akabdach tova v'amar tfilin kana manachna. And he was talking about the prayer that he's doing with the tefillin, and he was telling jokes or being so happy. Because person mostly get punished, not for the bad thing he did, it's for the good thing that he did, but he wasn't happy as he was doing them. So always be happy when you're doing something spiritual. More than anything that you gain, more than any money. Because happiness while you're doing something spiritual fix almost everything. So now I'm contradicting myself. Just 10 minutes ago I talked about cry and tears. Well, you're going to do it with the right meditation at night. Night, you sit and cry for the missed opportunity of being happy. You can do that then. But during the time you study, during the time that you teach, during the time that you do all those spiritual things, you gotta be happy. And he continued. Sadness or depression is one of the worst things a person can do. And it's blocking you to get prophecy like we studied before. Nothing stops you from becoming a prophet or being able to be psychic more than being sad. Even if you deserve to become psychic, prophet, Ruach HaKodesh, still it will blocking you from receiving it. Now why? And where do we see it in the Torah? The idea, if you remember, with Yaakov, he couldn't find his son Yosef when he thought that he died. And what happened? He get depressed. So when you get depressed, everything starts to go wrong, because when you're sad, you cannot have prophecy. It's gone. It cannot stay. What happened as a result, the light cannot show you the truth. So when you're going through, God forbid, tough time, sadness is very dangerous. Needless to say that anger is one of the worst, because anger pushed away everything you did, even the good thing. Not only pushed away, they take your soul, throw it, and they put a negative soul instead of it. Got to be careful with anger. Anger. We all get angry, but depends how far we're taking it. So whoever get angry, usually it's a tough thing to fix. Nothing destroy your soul more than anger. And so what do we need to do when you study? Meditate to draw the right soul and connect it to your soul at the upper level. And through that, the light of the Creator will start shining on you. And understand to stay away from ego, Stay away from anger. Stay away from meticulousness, not to have a detail-oriented mind. Stay away from letzanut, clown. Stay away from lashon hara, speaking bad about people. Even you have a good reason to be meticulous, don't. Stay away from talking nonsense. And this is basically the basic of everything. So as many people ask me to share more from the Ari, and that's what I'm doing. And I hope to share as many as I can, as many lectures as I can from Rabbi Isaac Luria. I just want to make sure to the people who are watching it, to make sure that you look at the subtitle, you look at, not the subtitle, like the different things that we're going to add with the video so you can read what exactly I'm talking about when I talk about the nekudot, when I talk about the vowels. So step by step, we're going to put it all there. I want to wish you a wonderful time. Today is Rabbi Chaim Vital death anniversary, who buried in Syria. So I'm very privileged to be able to teach from the book that he wrote about his teacher to you. And I hope that every time you're opening Rabbi Isaac Luria book or opening the video and study with me, it will take you very far to the place where Rabbi Chaim Vital and Rabbi Isaac Luria studied together. Let's all of us make history. Let's all of us take those lectures and help other people in your own language. Thank you and have a wonderful, wonderful time.